Hello everyone! This is Monday Musings, but also a ticked off tea talk. So I'm here with Don Monroe. I am Mariah, and I'm going to be interviewing him on a little scenario that happened today. So let's pan over. Hello, can you introduce yourself a little bit and tell me what you do?
My name's Don Monroe. I am an artist. As you can see behind me, I do oil paintings. I'm into realism. And I've been doing it for well over almost 40 years now.
Awesome. Okay, so what started you into oil paintings?
Believe it or not, it was the predecessor to Bob Ross, William Alexander.
The almighty brush!
The
If
almighty
you don't know
brush.
that, go Google it. Anyway, moving right along. So, back to what our actual talk is about today. So you had a little scenario today about a client that was a, how would you say, a little controlling?
More like a little out of control, controlling.
That can work. So explain a little bit of the background about it and how this whole transaction got started.
Well, I got a phone call or a text message. Actually, it was a phone call. Probably about 3 weeks ago, a gentleman wanted me to do a piece of artwork for him. So he decided to commission me. And he specifically said what he wanted was a figure of a man and a mirror and another face in the mirror.
Okay.
Pretty basic, pretty straightforward.
Okay.
So being a good artist, what do? You do your research. So you go on the internet, you do research, you start studying, you start figuring out what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. Find some images, maybe put them together, come up with some sketches. And by the time I had everything figured out, he sent me a concept sketch, if you will, very loose, very not well done, of what he wanted that he had done years earlier. So at this point, I've already come up with a concept. So I chose to ignore what he had and went my own way. If he didn't like it, he didn't like it. It was not a big deal to me.
Okay. So, fast track a little bit forward. So how did he contact you, or how did he find you, or something like that?
It was through a mutual friend. He thought he was being gracious, knew that I was an artist, and recommended me, which was perfectly fine. He didn't do anything wrong. He was very gracious about it. What he did, I was very happy with what he did. But it's when you start talking to a client, you've got to listen to key little phrases that they kind of throw in on you.
Okay. So what would be the key little phrase that would be like the red flag for you?
Mine.
We'll insert a clip of Finding Nemo seagulls.
Yes, there's a lot of seagulls in this one. Saying that they own the rights to the artwork. They have a copyright on theirs. Which is completely understandable, because anytime you do a piece of artwork, as soon as you sign it, you own the copyright to that piece of artwork. It is yours. No one can copy that piece of artwork.
So
which means copy
basic.
it exactly the way it is done.
So basic knowledge is what this should have been about.
Yes. Now, if you do your research, which will hopefully be inserted,
Yes.
and you understand copyright law, you cannot copyright an idea, a concept, however you want to phrase it. That cannot be copyrighted. The image itself, yes.
Okay. So what happened in this situation?
Well, in this situation, I had finished the piece. The client had called me basically the day after I finished it. Now, I had 24 hours worth of work into it. I was being super nice. I cut him a great deal price-wise. trying to be nice. Don't be nice. And he calls me the next day. And he goes, how's it going? I says, I just finished a piece. Well, he instantly goes, why didn't you call me? Well, I just finished it. And I was right in the middle of it running an errand. And I says, I have to make a copy of it for my personal files. That was the first red flag. Boy, was it a red flag. He instantly started yelling on the phone saying, you can't make copies of it. I own the rights to it. Well, I'm not going to discuss business over the phone right in the middle of what I was doing. I said, we'll discuss it when we get together. And that's where we're at now.
So, where is now?
Now is the day of aftermath, post-apocalypse, if you will. I showed up at the client's house, knocked on the door, and he asked me to come in. Okay, fine. I go in there, and I don't do business alone. I had my business manager with me to keep things calm and quiet. As artists, we have a tendency to be a little
Psychotic.
I resemble that remark.
Not going that way. So basically you had a mediator.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would recommend always having someone with you for no other reason than having a witness to what transpires.
Or in a public place.
In a public place. That was mistake number 2. So I proceeded to sit down and greet the client. He was not in the best of health, let's put it that way. But he was very cordial. I made a request and proceeded to show him the artwork. I opened up the folio, showed him the drawing. He had a big smile on his face. He was happy with the work. He goes, yeah, you're an artist. And how many times have we heard that?
You do exist.
I do. Yes, we do exist. Creative people do exist. And he was happy with the image. But he saw the copy I had made for myself. And that's where it started.
To go off the deep end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no diving board. There was just a rock attached to the whole situation, and it went down fast. He said I had no right to it. I had no right to basically infringe on his copyright. He owned total rights to the artwork I presented to him. That's kind of where it leaves you kind of stunned. That someone says they own the rights to the artwork that you just handed them, that you just spent all these hours creating. You don't know what to think at that point.
Okay, so let's back up a little, see if I can understand. So the client said that they own the copyright to your drawing.
Correct.
And they didn't touch anything to paper.
No. He sent me a loose sketch of what he kind of wanted at that point. The process was already in motion.
Okay.
I had already come up with a concept. I have already started it.
Okay.
And he started escalating very quickly.
Red flag number 3.
And I tried to explain to him that I own the copyrights to the artwork. I had paperwork in hand.
Okay.
From legal documents.
Which will be in the description below.
Showing him highlighted. He says, I don't care.
Uh-oh.
Another red flag.
Oh no. Please tell me he didn't say that.
Yeah. He didn't care what the law said. And then I tried to explain to him his idea, his concept was not original. Going on Google, our best friend, bringing up other images of a similar nature, showing him. Then he turns around and accuses me of stealing these images. That I stole all these images. And you're standing there thinking, what did I just step into? This is beyond the Twilight Zone.
And Outer Limits.
I said, okay, fine. I got up, was going to pick up my artwork. He goes, can I see it one more time? Mistake again.
Oh no. I can see where this is going.
So, reluctantly, I pulled it out of the folio. I handed it to him. He promptly became a 2-year-old and was yelling at me at the top of his voice, put it behind his back, and screaming at me to get out of his house, that I stole from him, and that he was going to defame my name throughout the community that we live in, and saying that I did nothing but steal from him.
So you stole your own artwork?
Apparently.
Okay.
And I'm still trying to wrap my head, how can you steal from yourself?
Okay. And this was a paid commission and everything.
Yes,
okay.
but nothing was on paper. No, nothing was signed. Nothing, no money was exchanged whatsoever.
Okay. So beforehand, nothing was exchanged.
No.
Okay. Still can't wrap my head around this. It's just
Well,
like...
The reason why I did it is because I liked the concept. I had previously thought of a similar concept. So this was just kind of a motivation. So I thought, if he doesn't like it, fine. I'll frame it and I'll sell it on my own. Not a problem.
Okay. So... Oh boy. I can just see pictures of a 2-year-old says, no, it's mine!
Yes.
It's yours, but it's mine!
Yeah, he promptly was yelling at me to get out of his house and just making all sorts of threats. And I says, I'll be glad to leave. Just give me my artwork and I'll leave. Not a problem. I didn't have a problem with that.
Okay.
But he refused to relinquish the artwork.
Uh-oh. Oh no. No, 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 no.
I told him the whole deal was off. We're done. We're finished. I don't want his money. I just want to leave. Just give me my artwork and I'll just leave. And he says, you can get out of my house, but you stole from me. This is mine. I own it. I have the copyright.
Which is not.
And he kept going on that I have the copyright to it. I says, fine. I brought his image. I showed him my image. And I says, you tell me where they are alike. And he wouldn't answer. He just said he owned the copyright. I said, fine. Show me the paperwork that says you have a copyright on this. He refused to do that.
Okay. So, and both pictures will be put up side by side so you can see on what they look like and you can judge for yourself. Make sure to put in the comments to see what you think. Going back on track. No more bunny trails, they're bad. See,
But squirrels are free game.
Yeah, squirrels are free game. So, he said, did he say he was going to pay you, or, I mean, was there something that he said that he was going to pay you before you left, or was it just, it's mine, get out?
He did make comment on he would pay me, but at that point I didn't want to deal with this guy anymore. I didn't know where this was going. I just wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Now, on the artwork itself, there was no image of any family members, any portraiture to link family members or memories or whatever. It's just a simple image, which you'll see.
Okay, so it's... Oh boy. So, from what we talked about earlier, I understand that you did get paid, but there was kind of a fiasco in that.
Yeah.
Okay, explain a little bit of what that was about.
I finally relented and said, just pay me. I just wanted out of there as quickly as possible. Not knowing if this guy had a firearm underneath his blanket that he had in his lap.
Okay.
I had called somebody, the mutual acquaintance that we had, and had him on the phone trying to talk this guy down a little bit and trying to explain to him because he trusted him a little more. No, he went off on him too.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
And then it escalated from there. Even more.
How could it escalate even further?
He got his phone out and called the police.
Oh, that could escalate. Okay.
Yeah. So, being a small little munchkin, as you can see, I was afraid that he was going to say I was assaulting him, that I threatened him, which can happen and has happened in the past. When you're calm and quiet to people, they get a little offended by that. I don't know why. But he was trying to contact the police, and they're hopefully still laughing about this. I said, fine. Just give me a check. He goes, my checkbook's right there. Just fill it out. Another red flag.
Oh boy.
So I didn't want to go anywhere near the guy. I was staying away from him. My business manager went over and filled it out.
Okay.
Well, that's kind of a gray area, but you can do that. Then he proceeded to say she can sign it with his name.
What?
Well, that's called forgery.
Yeah, it's a little illegal, just slightly.
And through this whole thing, he still had the drawing behind his back, yelling and screaming. Finally, she talked him into signing the check.
Okay.
I took it and got the HE double hockey sticks out of there as quickly as I could.
Okay. Well, that's good. You got out of there. So, did police show up? Did anybody show up trying to do something or what?
Fortunately, no.
Okay, so you got out of there before anything else happened.
Yes, I'm on the run. I'm an artist on the run.
Okay, so moral of the story, don't deal with crazy people. So everything, you got paid, he got his work, everything should be okay, hypothetically.
Hopefully.
Okay.
So the rule is, when you deal with a potential client that you're being commissioned, don't be nice.
No.
Don't cut them a deal. Doesn't matter how bad you want to do it, and I know better. Get everything down in writing beforehand. Make it very clear.
Or payment first.
Make sure it's in writing. Then get a deposit. At least it'll cover your butt on your materials and some of your time. And you make it very clear that it's non-refundable no matter what happens, in writing, and they get a copy of it. And they sign your copy so they understand clearly. Like I said, I was being very nice to this person. He was not in the best of health. I was trying to do him a favor.
Never do a favor.
Never do a favor, because you
favor.
always wind up stabbing yourself in the eye with your paintbrush every freaking time.
Don't do it. Mm-mm.
Yes. So remember, business is business. Be professional at all times. Never get upset. Never scream or yell at your client, no matter what kind of a horse's ass they're making of themselves.
Yes.
Be nice. If you ever watch the movie Roadhouse, Patrick Swayze says, I don't care what they call you, what they do, be nice. Throw them out, but be nice.
Yes. Always be nice. So, everything's ironed out. He got what he wanted, you got what you wanted.
And I promptly cashed it.
Always good. So you got what you both agreed upon.
Yes.
Just with a lot of fluff in the middle.
Yes, somebody set it on fire.
Well, fluff is flammable.
Yes, it is.
Flammable. So, we'll make sure to do this again on a Monday Musing and possibly a ticked off tea talk. I love alliteration. It's so good. So make sure to come like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you never miss an upload. And make sure to come next week to never miss a Monday Musing. Bye.